Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is designed to give you solutions to your day-to-day management and leadership problems. It's hosted by Matthew Haddock, a frontline manager and leader with over 25 years of experience. If you're ready, then let's get on with the show.
Hi and welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. This show is designed to give you actionable and practical tips to improve your management skills and get the results you need. Can I ask you to do a massive favour for me before you go any further? And that is to subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode, and of course share it. Please share it with as many people as you can. It costs you nothing to pass on positivity. So without too much of a delay, let's get on with this week's show. Hi and welcome to the show. Now, a couple of weeks ago we spoke about the idea of the why and the purpose of your team within your business. And I spoke about how it fits a purpose to an aligned vision can make the company really grow and move forward. And we also talked about the fact that the company without a vision is great, but it can just drift. It's not particularly going to be focused. You need to have something with a vision. And if you've not listened to that show, please go back and give it a listen. It's well worth it. But this week's show, I want to expand and explore the idea of communicating the purpose and general principles of communicating to your team and to your wider audience in your company. There's no point having the greatest purpose, a real direction for your team, a strategy that would be world class, and a business why which would change the world. If it sits in your office or your bedroom these days in the pandemic and you keep it to yourself, you have to get people informed and communicated to. And of course, you need to know, firstly, A, what is the purpose? And B, how will they play their part in delivering that purpose? So what's the best approach to getting it to every level? What really drives communication? Well, they say you need to tell people 7 times before they'll tell you that you've been told it once. And because in our minds we think everyone else thinks and listens like we do, there's a point where you believe you've communicated when you haven't actually done it. There was a famous study where a set of people were told to hum a well-known tune to somebody else. No, I'm not talking a really complicated tune. I'm talking a really basic nursery rhyme. Something like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. They asked the hummer what were the chances of the other person getting the song and guessing the title. And they scored it 80, 90%, even 100, because they thought it was that basic. And in their brains, they were actually sort of humming it. The actual people who got the tune, so the people receiving it, it was less than 25%. That was because the hummers were thinking the person receiving the tune was thinking like them, and they could hear the links in their own head, which obviously couldn't. The same can be considered when rolling out the purpose. Your team and your directs have been there from the start. They know they've had the formation of the idea of the why. They are the hummers, if you like. But the next level down, they've not heard the tune. They will need the hummers, not just to hum. They need the melody, they're going to need the words, they're going to need the music videos to get the tune. So how do we do this? Now, it's a multi-level approach when involved in a number of different simulations. You need to make sure that you have got it covered on lots of bases. You're not just going to give out a brief once and that'll be it. You need to have a consistent long-term approach to land this. Start a plan. Yes, a rollout plan. And plan it as if it's a project. Communicating the purpose has levels of organic growth over time. But at the start, you need to plan for the actions with deadlines and milestones like you would any project. You'll need to have advocates at all levels to get them involved because you need disciples who will communicate out the why and really feel it. And now comes the fun bit. The cascade. You need to cascade this message within an inch of its life. You need to spend time with the advocates and communication champions. Sometimes you're going to have to come in early. Sometimes you're going to need to stay back late to really show the team the importance of the message. You get questions and you need to be asking for feedback. And when hit on the more physical ways of communications, you need to think about how can you do emails, notice boards, banners, electric and old school paper. And then how to reinforce it. Make it part of the daily meeting structures. Not that you start to chant it in some sort of strange sort of cult, but you will need people to understand it and start to talk about it. Because culture is about behaviours. And if you want people to have a culture around your purpose, they're going to need to start to show behaviours. Now, you'll need to not get everyone on board at first. Remember, this takes time, so not everyone is going to be able to remember it straight off the top. It's going to be a drip, drip, drip approach, and then eventually you get to a tipping point when you have enough engagement and the momentum starts to shift and people understand the purpose that they're there to do. A good test of this is to see when you are working and you get into a challenge or a disagreement, do people refer to the purpose? And what I mean by that is, are they aligned to it? So say there's something that one or two people have got a disagreement. Is anyone saying, hang on a minute, let's not go any further. Let's pull this back to our purpose. What are we here for? What is the purpose of our company? Is it to do X, Y, and Z? And is this disagreement, whichever side you're on, supporting the purpose? Because then you really start to get people on board. And after that, well, of course, when you've got your purpose and the whys, you need to start to look at the deliverables and to make it happen. And that is to move towards action imperatives. That is the next level down. That is going to be another show. I'm going to talk through how you can get imperatives feeding off the purpose to really start to deliver the results. Well, thanks for listening. And as always, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on the show, both good, bad and indifferent. So please send me your feedback, as it's a gift, to managermattpodcast@gmail.com. I read and answer all my own emails and would love to engage on new topics or revisit old ones. And if you've got a question about the show, please pop it in the email and we'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you could do me a massive favour and rate the Manager Matt Podcast Show wherever you get their podcasts, it'll help others find it and improve their leaderships. Well, that's it for Manager Matt this week. Thanks for listening and goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.